Welcome in to the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview, proudly presented by Arkansas Tech University, D3 Auto Sales, and by Metcalf Trucking Company. Today we sit down with the head coach of the Perryville Mustangs, Alan Fairbanks. This Pigskin Preview is brought to you by the Perryville Booster Club.
All right, I am here with Alan Fairbanks, the head coach here for the Perryville football program. Coach, you said that you're going into your third year as the head coach here. So you've had a couple of years to kind of establish what you want to do here. Tell me about the culture and what you guys do in practice that kind of differentiates you from other football teams around the state.
Yeah, I really feel like the culture kind of here is, we're not always the most talented team. There's definitely, we're going to play teams that are, faster than us, stronger than us, but I really just feel like that we've got some really gritty top kids, some really gritty players that are going to, they're going to come in every day. They're going to work hard for you. You can count on them to do things for you. You can count on them when things are tough, like for them to bring things up a notch and stuff. So I really kind of feel like that's even the way we practice and the kids really just kind of grind it out in the weight room, grind it out in practice. We try to have faster up tempo practices and I really feel like that kind of that kind of matches their style. That's what they want. They would much rather get in here and go fast and attack the day and everything instead of long drawn out kind of stuff. And so I would just say gritty is the culture here.
So you guys have pretty consistently made the playoffs a lot of years, but you haven't really gotten very far in the playoffs. So tell me about what you guys are trying to do to kind of hit that next level to get you guys where you want to be and be a state title contender. We were talking before we started here, and you said you're really excited about this year. You think that this team has a lot of strong potential to get far in the playoffs. So tell me about what you guys do to kind of get to where you guys want to be in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. I really feel like the difference in this year between my last two seasons here is, we should have 16 seniors playing. I really feel like that the programs that that find a way to get those kids to stick with it, and some of it's luck, getting the right group and everything, but a lot of it's also, how you coach them and what you do with them and stuff like that. And so I think when you get to where you've got a group that's 15, you're really blessed if you got 20, in that 15 to 20 mark, like you got a chance to really be good. Those are more mature kids. They know your system. They've been with you. They're loyal to you and stuff. And so the first 2 years here, I had some really good kids that were seniors and stuff. We just didn't have the sheer numbers. We were great. Each year we had six seniors, and so this year we got 16 or so. And I really feel like that's a testament to just kind of what we've been doing and stuff. We got kids that want to be here. That are sticking it out. And so really kind of hoping that they, having that bigger group, we can break over the threshold and make a run.
So when we were talking beforehand, you also said you've got some sophomores coming in that you think are really good athletes, athletic, fast, things like that. Then you've got some seniors that you think are kind of tough, hard-nosed, really going to go after it. Tell me about what that balance is going to do to help y'all this year. Having those athletes, but also having those guys that have been there, that are experienced, that can help those guys with maybe what you might call raw athleticism that just haven't been in the moment yet. How do you think that balance will help your team this year?
Yeah, no doubt. The senior class that we've got this year, most of them, even as freshmen when they moved up, and that was before I got here, but when they were freshmen and moved up, a lot of them as freshmen moving up at the end of the year, they contributed that season. And then we started 3 years ago, 2 years ago, we started a significant number of these kids as a freshman, and then last year, then a lot of them guys kept their role and continued and stuff, and so we're returning offensively. We're returning 9 of the 11 starters, and and then defensively, I believe it's 7 of the 11. So, I mean, these kids, and a lot of guys rotate and stuff as well, but so, I mean, these kids have a lot of experience. I mean, they've played for several years, as starting roles in varsity football. A lot of them, they have made it to the playoffs and seen what it looks like, and then last year especially, hosting our first home playoff game since '09, and then just kind of experiencing that, and then playing a Glen Rose that was a title contending team, and seeing what does it take to reach that level, and what do you got to do, and what does that look like, and what does that feel like, and stuff, and what's the atmosphere going to be like, and so there's a lot of experience and a lot of guys that know now this is how we have to attack the off season, this is how we have to practice in season to make it to that role. And then, just like we were talking about, then we've got a freshman group that's going to be sophomores this year that comes up and has got some speed to complement the experience that we've got, and also really good numbers in that group as well. So I really kind of think that them guys come up. They've had a good spring. They have a strong summer, and really kind of we really kind of pull them guys along and get them to just know what it feels like to play varsity football, just the speed of the game and everything. And they grow up and contribute to an experienced team. I think we got a chance to do some really good stuff. We graduated 6 seniors last year, and they were gritty, hard nosed. They were good players. So we're going to miss them, but whenever you bring in 15 younger kids and they've got some speed and stuff, if they can grow up and figure out the speed of the game and contribute, I think that with the experience in the seniors, that it's a good issue to have.
So tell me about the atmosphere on Fridays here at Perryville, and tell me about kind of the big game every year, the Perry County rivalry against Bigelow. The good news for you guys is they lost a lot of seniors off their team last year. The bad news is they've been really good. They won a state title last year. So tell me about what that game means to this community, and then just what Friday nights are like here at Perryville.
Yeah, definitely. Friday nights in general, when you're small town Arkansas and stuff, football's a big deal. Your school is a central part of the community. What's going on in your school is a big deal. And so, Friday nights are huge. I feel like that our attendance at games and stuff, like that we've got, a lot of people, from the community come to watch. A lot of people, are invested in it, and they want to know, they want the football team to be good. It's a big deal to them. So, I think just because of that environment in our school, football already means a whole lot to the community, and just developing and just having a good strong group of young men growing up here and stuff. So it's already a big deal. And then when you pair that with the battle of the county and stuff, you just got two schools that are really close together and stuff. All their families know one another, all the kids know one another. It's just a big deal to both of them. Like, people in the community are talking about them for ever from when the last year's game was the next day. They're talking about the game for the following year. And I really feel like the team that wins that, it propels you, and so it would be huge for us to go into this year and win that game and propel us into the conference season.
So tell me about your roster, maybe some names that you're kind of relying on to be leaders on your team. Some guys that you really trust, that might be kind of a coach on the field, or might be somebody who leads a unit or something like that. And then tell me some guys that you think maybe didn't have the biggest year last year, but you think are going to have a big year, or going to have a good off season. Who some people are going to kind of think come out of nowhere, have a breakout season.
Well, the list there, that's a long list, because when you got a bigger, especially for us, when you've got 16 plus seniors, all of them guys are ones that are leaders to you in play. Obviously the names are going to obviously stand out, and people that have just such significant roles for us. Connor Frith, playing safety and quarterback. On defense, when he's playing safety, I don't know if I've had a better player ever that on him, just how he plays the ball in the air, and he can just instinctively makes great breaks. He's always, pedaling, so he really kind of shores us up. In the middle of the field back there, it's really tough to play something, and then he isn't afraid at all to come down and make tackles. And then offensively, he's one that, you can just count on. He's going to get you in the right play. He sees things the way that I see them, and he's going to, make the read the way that I see it and stuff. And you just, and then he's got an athletic ability that you just never know what he might make of a play that's a bad play. I called something wrong. I mean, he can make something great happen out of it. So you've always got him. We've got a lot of senior linemen on the team. Jeremiah Caldwell really kind of leads us up there. He knows and played everybody's position. He's one that, wherever you need him to be, whatever's the most important role, or if you got to move somebody in or something like that, like get people right on their assignments. He just shores everything up. Remington Campbell, big, strong kid, works super hard and stuff. He's just physically, he's someone that you gotta plan for. Because he's physically, really good. Then we've got running one of our running backs that had played before. That's also very athletic kid, Jacob Soji. He didn't play for us last year, but he's coming back to play for us this year. He's been there with us in spring ball and worked super hard in the weight room, did a bunch of powerlifting stuff and everything. And so I expect him to be one of those guys that maybe you didn't know as much about because he didn't play last year, but he's I think he'll have a good year paired with Jonathan Pritchard, who's kind of our experienced back, more of a downhill type runner and stuff. So he's a younger guy that really kind of happened there. And then receiving core, all them guys, they run really good routes. They do what they're supposed to do. They're in the right places, so they just, they make plays when you need them, and we got a bunch of seniors there. Grant Griffith, going from left to right, Grant Griffith makes big plays on stuff because he's got great route running. Will McKinney, he's made big plays because he's really, really shifty and runs really good routes. Wyatt Drennan was, especially late in the season last year for us, Wyatt Drennan at the Y position, he was kind of our big play type guy. We can take shots with him down the field, but he's also big and physical enough that he you can bring him in and two-back stuff, and he's so versatile that he just gives you a lot of different stuff. And then I think another guy that probably maybe hadn't been on people's radar quite as much, but man, in the off season and in the off season in spring ball, he has just looked great. Has been Ethan Evans. He's been making great catches. He's got really good footwork on stuff. Super coachable, great kid, and so he's one. And I'm sure I'm going to leave several of them out because, like I said, big class, and I think that's just a great thing about this group, in my opinion, is that there's a bunch of leaders on it.
So, tell me about your guys' schedule this year. Obviously, we talked about your annual game against Bigelow and how important that is to the team. You guys schedule them in non-conference every year. Outside of that, tell me about your non-conference, why it's scheduled the way it is, and tell me about some of the conference games you guys are looking forward to that you think will be important this season.
Yeah, so really just felt like non-conference wise, from what just I've gathered, Perryville has always played at Atkins, and it's always been a big game, and I don't know, some people would call it rivalry or something, but I don't know if it really is that, but just really good games between those schools in the past. So as soon as we found out that we wasn't going to be in conference together, we wanted to get that game scheduled because they're always really good games for both of us. Hector, kind of the same, a lot, close to us and stuff, so the travel's not bad for either of us. But another game that as well that I think in the past there have been really good games between those schools and stuff, and so those were just kind of no-brainers that were close, and it worked out for their schedule. So we got to go, and Pottsville is the benefit game. Really just kind of felt Pottsville bigger school. They're physical. One that we can start the year off as and really kind of see where we're at and see what things we need to fix and see how we're matching up physically. And then, like you said, that week 3 game is the Bigelow game, or the third game, is the Bigelow game. And so, then that's obviously a big game and can propel you into that conference play. one obviously great thing about this conference, the travel is nowhere near what the travel was. I mean, when we were, especially on junior high nights, driving to Melbourne, driving to Salem, driving to Yellville, those Newport as well. Those games were, those were some hauls and stuff. And so our longest travel now is about an hour and 20. And so that part's really great. It seems like just a really balanced conference, like just a lot of very competitive teams that are in it. And so, just kind of looking forward to kind of seeing where we kind of match in that, and seeing how all that shakes out.
So tell me about what you guys do as far as your offensive scheme, what you guys do, as far as your run heavy, pass heavy, just kind of explain to me what you guys are trying to do on offense this season. Just, obviously you said you have an experienced quarterback, a guy that you really trust on the field. So tell me about, just your expectation of that unit.
Yeah. I really, offensively, I kind of believe that, you just do whatever you got to do to win. Like if that means this week you throw the ball 80%, ran it 20%, because that's what you need to do to win, that's what you do. And then if the very next week you need to run it 80%, and then, you do whatever you need to do to win. So, we're spread offense, but we're very multiple. Like, we'll get in, we'll go from, quads type stuff, empty type stuff, one back personnel stuff, two back personnel stuff. We've even got some double tight type stuff. We use tight ends. We'll use, we'll get in two back. Like, I really feel like that, in my opinion, that's the advantage of being spread, is that you can be multiple and try to get in looks and use your personnel in a way that might give the other team problems. And so that's really kind of my philosophy, and the group that we've got this year, they really excel at it, because we've got a lot of different type of personnel, and then with having more numbers this year, having a bigger group coming in, and then having a lot of seniors, like, we can rotate guys and be able to have certain personnel packages that we can pair certain plays with, and really let those guys excel with it. And so from week to week, we're not afraid to adjust and be completely different. We're going to be fairly close to the same, but we're not opposed to adjusting things to fit whatever the other team's, what we believe their weakness is, and pair it with our strength. And so we've got some packages where our receivers are a lot better, they're route running type guys, and we got certain packages where we'll use receivers that are more blocking type guys, and same thing, we'll get into where we've got more bigger type two back wide receiver type stuff, and then even heavy sets. So that's kind of what we're looking at.
So defensively, kind of the same thing. Tell me about kind of your different units on defense. Obviously, we already talked about some guys that you think you can lean on that are going to be leaders and good athletes and things like that. So just kind of tell me what you guys do from your scheme on defense, and what your expectation is for them and every unit in that group this year. Yeah,
definitely. So we pretty much base out of a stack cover three defense. So we're gonna have that 6-man box, and we're gonna take away the run, and we're gonna make you beat us with something else, unless we need to adjust and we need to take away your passing game or something. But typically in our league and the teams that we're playing, like, we're gonna take away your run. We're gonna make you do something else out of it. We can adjust and do different things and everything, but that's kind of our belief, and that also fits our kids really good. I really feel like that our defensive coordinator, he does a really good job, getting into the right alignments and fits that allow our kids to be successful against whatever he's trying to be. And we don't do anything overly complicated there. We really believe in put them guys in the right spots and everything, and then give them, a template to play from, and then let them play fast. And, with our gritty style of players and stuff, like I said, we might not always be the fastest, and, you might be able to beat us in something one-on-one sometimes or something, but, I really feel like that we play good team defense, and we pursue to the ball, and we're gritty, like, especially in that box. Like, we play really good in that box. So that's kind of our style there.
So tell me a little bit about your relationship with the senior class. We already talked about some of the guys that you are looking forward to watching play, but just tell me about on a day-to-day basis what it's like working with this class. Obviously, you said you kind of came in when they were starting to come into the senior high. So tell me about what this senior class means to you and the rest of your staff.
Yeah, I'm really blessed to have them. To be able to come in and have a group that really their first year in varsity football was sophomores was pretty much my first year getting there, and so we've really just kind of grown together. We've had me and this group. We've had an opportunity to really kind of feel each other out, almost kind of see what's the things that he's good at doing, and they're figuring out what are the things that I like to call and what do I like to do in different scenarios and stuff. And so we've really just been blessed that we've been able to grow together and kind of had these these last 2 years to kind of see what each other's strengths are and just kind of what stuff we like to do. It's a great group of kids. I mean, anytime you got a group that just wants to come in and work hard for you and stuff you can count on. You're blessed as a coach just to just to be able to have that, just to be able to count on them. And so I really feel like that just want to do everything possible to give these guys a great senior year, because they definitely deserve it. Like, they do the work and everything like that, and so just coming in kind of together into in the varsity football has just kind of been a big deal.
So last question for you: what would you guys have to do this season for you and players and everybody else be able to walk away and consider it a success?
In my mind, success is kind of different than just wins and losses and stuff like that. I mean, obviously, I go in every year like I want to compete for a conference title. Home playoff game's a big deal, and making playoff runs. That's what I'm used to. That's what that's part of why you get into this. I mean, you love that competition, and you want to win. But even more so than that, because especially and I'm not talking about this group, but in our level of football, you're going to have more talented years than other years and stuff. You're going to have, this year we got a big senior group, and so it's probably outside expectation is a little bit higher from others and stuff. But I really just look for how does the group when something's not going right, how do they respond to that type of stuff? Whenever you have a loss, or you're down at half, or you're down in the third quarter, having a resilient, dedicated, just hardworking group of kids that doesn't just give up on themselves and everything like that. And when you get, whenever throughout the season, when you get those scenarios right there that are kind of like that, and you have a group that just kind of, fights through it, stands up, and turns something great out of a bad, something bad that's going on, that's more or less where I get the gratification for coaching them and stuff is feeling like you have a part in that, because that's going to translate into something they do in their life, because life's going to do the same type of things. You're going to have, things that, bad things happen to good people sometimes, and, how you respond to it and stuff. And so, honestly, at the end of the day, that's really kind of, what the success of a certain group, that's what I kind of look back on. Well, how did they respond to these scenarios? And I really feel like this is that type of group that, this year that really, when something does occur, like I feel like, because we worked through a lot of that stuff together, I just really feel like that they're going to accept the challenge and just be expecting something to happen, and they're going to go right in there and respond. So, that's kind of the way I feel about it, at least.
All right. This has been an interview with Coach Alan Fairbanks here at Perryville. Coach, is there anything you want to say about your football program before we sign off here?
I'm just looking forward to the year and excited for our upcoming group of seniors, their season that we've got.
All right, I'm Carson Ward with Arkansas Sports Network. You can find Arkansas Sports Network on Facebook and YouTube.
Thanks again for joining us on the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Arkansas Sports Network on YouTube to catch more previews and all the latest updates on your favorite teams.